Guten Tag, welcome to a special German edition of Dan's Tool Room. And tonight we are going to review the knipex 1386-200 installation pliers. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to apologize to Germans around the world now, and to any Germans that may be watching this video, for my absolutely terrible German accent there. But you know what? I'm a Welshman, so, you get what you give. What can I say? I get that every day. Right, so tonight then, the knipex 1386-200 installation pliers. Had to review this, guys. This is my absolute favorite tool I own. Absolutely love it. And I'm not going to say anything bad about this tool. I've got to say, I've got nothing bad to say about it. So if you're looking for a bit of a slating on this tool, then this isn't the review for you. Okay, so let me tell you about this tool. So firstly, this is what they call the installation pliers. It's a multi-tool and they've gone a bit mad on it. It's not just like, a cutters with a strippers in it. They've just tried to incorporate everything in this. Let me just tell you about this, okay? So at the end, you've got a knockout tool for like your 20mm knockouts on, say, emergency lights or something like that, okay? You've got a 20mm knockout tool. You've got like a needle nose sort of end on it. You've got a combination style nut grip there. You've got a crimp, which goes from 0.5 to 2.5. You've got a cable strippers from 0.7 to 1.5 and to 2.5 there. You have a cable shears, and the creme de la creme, the end of it, you have a reamer on the end. So it really is a do-it-all tool. Now I've heard it said that a real engineer can do any job, regardless of whether you need an SDS drill normally for it with, a flathead screwdriver. But I'm not that clever, but this is great that if you want to just do a job, you can normally just pick this up, okay? You can pick up a screwdriver with it, and you can actually get most jobs done with this. And for that, it is absolutely brilliant. It's also absolutely expensive, okay? Now, you can get more expensive versions of this, and you can get cheaper versions of this, okay? You can get an entramentized version, which has got like black, where this is chrome. So it's got this color here, and it's got black, okay? That looks really cool, all right? The reason I went for the chrome one is because, I live in the UK. I'm originally from Wales. I don't live in Wales anymore, thankfully. And I'll say thankfully, and I'm talking because of the weather, okay? I'm not insulting the motherland before any people attack me, okay? I'm not a traitor. You don't have to hang, draw, and quarter me, okay? I'm talking about the weather. It's even wetter in Wales than it is in England, where I live now, okay? So you get a lot of condensation in your van, you get precipitation, and your tools rust, okay? So that's why I've gone for the chrome. So if you are living somewhere that's prone to water and wetness, go for the chrome, okay? I've gone for the 1000-volt ones here. Firstly, because my job requires it. Well, from a health and safety point of view, it does anyway. I normally work with 24 volts or with 240 at the most. But when you're working in fire panels and stuff, you could touch a coil or something like that, or touch something that's electrical, and this just gives you that bit of protection when you're in a small gap. So, but also, if you're going to go for the handles, go for the 1000-volt ones. They're only a few quid more, and then you've got that protection if you need it. It saves buying two tools. I never understand these people who've got the normal tools and the 1000-volt tools. I mean, just buy the 1000-volt ones. It'll do everything the normal tool does, and you got the 1000 volts. Sorted. Okay, there's my little rant over. Right, so this is really a tool for... It's a game changer, this tool is. It really is. It's brilliant. I'll start off with how loose it is. Look at that. Just look at that motion, the mechanical motion of that. It's beautiful to use, And, they all come like that. But you've actually got an adjustment screw there. So if you want it tighter, I've got it about as loose as it'll go. But if you want it a bit tighter, you want it a bit stiffer, you can adjust that on there, which is genius. I don't know why they don't put that on all tools. I don't know whether that was intentional by knipex, but it's a good idea. I like it. Right, the other thing I was going to say is you can also get one with a lanyard hook on it at the back. So if you work in heights, you can have that, and you can also get a spring-loaded one. I flipping hate spring-loaded tools. I just hate them. I mean, you have to pay more for the privilege, and they sit like that constantly, which is irritating. And the little stopper always pedongs out, so they're like that in your bag then, all the time. And they just take up more room, and you know, I don't even like the motion of them. I like to be able to control what I'm doing and use it as I want to use it, not how the spring dictates to me that I've got to take it. I don't know. People love spring ones. You pay more for the privilege of it though. So if you like spring tools, you can get this sprung loaded as well. Okay, there we go. Right, so let's just give you a little demonstration of what it does then. So I've got a bit of old waste fire cable here. Okay, and how am I doing this? What is this witchcraft? Look, I've got two hands. Well, I'll tell you. What I've not done is forked out for some expensive camera equipment. What I've done is this. Look at that. This is Eddie. That wasn't his name before. I've literally just named him that. Look at his face. This is Eddie. Okay, he's only got one arm. But what he does have is a cracking set of hips there, as you can see. And it's perfect for just setting down my little camera phone on top of there. And there you go. I've got a professional phone stand, and look how steady he is as well. Steady Eddie. There we are. Right. So let's just show you firstly the shears on this. Okay, they're very, very sharp. So you know, let's go a little bit higher because I haven't got much cable, to be fair. So there you go. 1, 2, 3, and effortless. Okay, absolutely effortless. And you can see it doesn't. If it'll focus, there you go. It doesn't damage the cable inside. You got your twin earth there. This, as you can see, it's quite thick fire cable. This, okay. Well, it's no thicker than any other fire cable, but okay, fire cable is quite thick. Okay, and it just goes through that with absolutely no effort. You know, if you were to use, say, a side cutter to do that, you know, it's a lot more difficult to do that. Let me demonstrate. Now we're keeping this fair here. We're using the same brand. Okay, this is just your entry level sort of 70 series side knipex side cutter. Okay, and if I use this on it, it'll cut it, but you know, you can see how it just springs off like that, and I can feel a lot more effort in my hands to do it. And when it does, you know, it gets to a point there, so it's digging into it, that it starts to struggle, and then it just shoots it across the room. Whereas this just neatly, see what I mean? Can you see the difference? And even, bear with me, if I was to use, you know, this knipex side cutter, which is the far more heavy duty one, you know, if I was to use that one, you know, it's a lot easier with that one, but I think it's, you know, again, it still shoots off, so it doesn't quite do the job as well as this one, does it? So I love it for that. Secondary function, you know, you can just get the end there and strip it all nicely there, snap it off, strip it out like that, and you can see, you know, you've not damaged the cores inside. And then the strippers as well are great. If you just get there, you just, and you can listen to the click for this. Okay, you just put it down, put it, yeah, that click, put it as tight as you can, and then just flick it off. Perfect every time. So yeah, that's great. Just do it again for you there. Listen for the click again. Can't really hear it, but I can. And then just flick it off. You don't even have to put any effort into it. Then of course you've got your sort of tool for doing this. You can just twist them all around nicely. Make a nice little twisty twist. You can twist your cables together nicely. They're not quite as good as combination pliers doing this, I will say, because they are slightly thinner, but yeah, so you can twist your cables nicely with it as well. Okay, so you can use it for that. Now on that, I will say a combination pliers is better, but if you're at a pinch, you know what I mean, you know, you haven't got your combination pliers on, you can use these. And then you've got the needle nose there, you can twist it over as well, you know, squash it down. You can do that. Maybe I'll do that with one I haven't twisted. You know, you can get the end of it like a needle nose, and you can just do your tails if you want to. Yeah. So you can put a nice little tail in it like that. So you know, so you can do a lot with this tool. Okay, and you know, it just works brilliantly. And you can even if I get a set of if I get some old scrap 8-core here, okay. Now what it doesn't like doing is cutting through this furry stuff, I've noticed, but see, it just gets a little bit caught on the furry stuff there, where you kind of got to move your hand away like that, and you can do it pretty well then. Yeah, as long as you do the hand away action. But anyway, now I've got to be careful here stripping the end off this, because is very sharp, and I'm just going to go through it, aren't I? There we go. Let's pull it off. Now, even tiny little 8-core cable like this, okay, which I'd normally use my little tiny side cutter, 125mm side cutter like this for. Let me just go and grab that a second. You can stare at the wire while I'm doing it and listen to my soothing voice. Here he is. So I normally use this tiddly little side cutter for this, and just, you know, strip the cable like that, nice and easy, okay? So that's what I normally use for this. And the reason I use that is because I find both this 160, and this big 74-200 one quite brutal, for it to be honest. But with this, you can because it's so easy to control with the mechanical motion of it, you know, you can easily just strip that off as well with no effort whatsoever. So you can really see that whatever sort of situation you're in with this, you can tend to use that. You know, it just replaces so many tools. And it's just absolutely brilliant. I could literally, I think, put all these tools into my, you know, into my bag and get away with it. Now, where it will not be quite as good is a needle nose. And if you look at the two ends of the noses on that compared to my needle nose there, you can see that is a lot slimmer, okay, than that. Disclaimer here, most of these tools are brand spanking new. I've had them a matter of weeks, so please don't go on about how clean and tidy and neat they are. These I've had for ages, and these were quite dirty, but I've cleaned all these up lovely for tonight, especially, so they're in showroom condition. But these are pretty new. So yeah, you can see that's a lot thinner, so you'll get into smaller gaps with that, and it's a lot thinner for a lot longer as well, if that makes any sense. So, but you know, in certain applications where you might need a needle nose, this could work for you. You know what I mean? So it's quite good. So there's a couple of things that doesn't work quite as well. The strippers work absolutely perfectly, and they're just wonderful. The cutters are absolutely perfect. They're just so sharp. They're incredible. And I use the reamers a lot as well on the end for, you know, when you do a knockout and it's a bit sharp. This just reams it up lovely. I'm not going to really comment on the crimper because I don't use it. That's one thing I don't bother using, and I don't use the nut grabber either, really. I mean, my job, I don't really need to grab nuts. I don't need to grab nuts and bolts in my job. So, yeah. So there we go. So yeah, this is it then. The knipex 1386-200 installation pliers. Really good tool. I can't recommend it highly enough. So what are we on about then? So we're saying then that this actually isn't that expensive. It is at the moment, right, so this is at the moment £44.99 plus VAT at CEF. Now that's not the price they list it as, okay? It's £44.99 plus VAT, based on the fact I went in there, saw one, asked how much is that, and they said, oh, it's £44.99 plus VAT, okay? Or that could have been including VAT. I'm not quite sure. Actually, including VAT sounds a bit more sensible. Yeah, I think it's probably just £44.99 including VAT then, okay? CEF, look how much I give you a shout out, really. I mean, you know, and I bet you're not watching this video, you even, never mind. But there we go. But yeah, so that's a good little retailer to get it from. Most CEFs can get it for you. Now, Knipex tools, they're not that easy to get hold of, I've got to be honest. I mean, if I'm going around UK shops, I'm finding very few Knipex stores that are actually stocking Knipex tools. Sorry, very few retail stores, that are stocking Knipex tools. Now, I've actually inquired about this. They can always get them for you, but they say they don't tend to stock them on the shelves because Knipex are a little bit difficult to deal with, they've said. That's the feedback I've had off a lot of people. So if Kennebec are listening to this, please be a bit more easy so I can get your lovely, wonderful tools off the shelf, because Amazon are making a killing on these tools at the moment because that's the easiest place to get them from, okay? Everywhere else, they can get them for you, but you normally have to wait a few days, okay? So, yeah, but these are really they're really well worth a shout because they save you so much effort doing so many different things, okay? They're just a really great tool. I can't praise them highly enough. If I had to complain about one thing, maybe they'd be better if they were more like 240mm, like, say, these lineman's pliers. I mean, if they were that much longer, okay, they'd be a bit bulky, I agree. But you know, you'd be able to get that bit more leverage on them, but perhaps you don't even need more leverage, they're that sharp. But it'd be nice if you had an option perhaps of, you perhaps 180s, 200s, 240s, 225s. It'd be nice if you had like an option of different ones. That would be great. But yeah, so yeah, I can't praise you enough, guys. So hopefully knipex will forgive me for my terrible German accent earlier in the praise I give these tools. It is engineered so beautifully. I once heard a comedian, it was a German comedian and a British comedian, and they were having a laughing at joke, and the German mocked the British person, and the British man came back with, he goes, "Ah yes, but you Germans have no sense of humour, do you?" And he said, "Ah yes, that's because we have our jokes after the work is done." and it's right, because as British engineers, we do like to have a good laugh on the job, especially tradesmen. And you can see with this tool was taken very seriously. There was no larking about on the job with this. They were just very seriously doing this tool and making it perfect. That's what they were doing with this. And they've pulled it off. It's just so beautifully crafted. Everything is flawless on it. All the design, it's just a lovely, lovely tool. And I can't praise it highly enough. So guys, if you do get one of these, it is a game changer in the trades. Okay, get yourself one of these. Can't praise it highly enough. And if any of you have seen my money saving for new apprentices and stuff, guys, this would be a good tool to have. Yes and no. It's good to have these tools separately, and learn how to use these ones. You learn how to use the tools. It's good to have that rather than just have this one which does everything for you. But if you want to save some money and have a tool that will do a lot of things, this is a heck of a lot cheaper than buying, a combination pliers, a needle nose pliers, a side cutters, a shears, and a strippers. It's a lot cheaper than doing this, and it'll get you by until you can afford them properly. It's not going to work in all applications, but there's a lot it will work in. So it's a really good tool to have. So yeah, as you probably gathered, I like this tool. I like it very much. My absolute favourite pliers, 1386 200 knipex installation pliers. I hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. Please like and subscribe. Thank you to everyone who's commented on my videos up till now. Everyone I have a conversation with, I do try and reply to all your comments, or if you comment on several of my videos, I at least try to reply to you on some of your comments on some of those videos. So I do make an effort to do that. Just a little disclaimer as well that my tool channel went down for a while, and I redid it. So a lot of my videos on it, I'm re-uploading some of my old ones. So you might see some of my newer uploads with older tools and more out-of-date things. So I hope that doesn't confuse anyone. It's just because I re-uploaded them. So you can enjoy some of the more older tool reviews. So thanks again for watching, guys. Click the bell icon and you'll see when I bring out all new videos. I'm going to try and do them a bit more often now. Thank you very much for listening, and I'll see you on the next video. Have a good one, guys. Good night. Stay safe.